What's going on, guys? I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate support. Guys, some news came out about some information that we covered, or a story that we covered rather, last December involving this guy right here. A lot of you guys remember this infamous picture. This picture here is a picture of an inmate out there in I think this is the Marcy Correctional Institute, and this guy's name was Robert Brooks. He's 43 years old. This guy was a prisoner in transit when the people in these pictures up here started beating on this man. Supposedly he was hiding some type of contraband in his mouth, and they brutalized this dude in that room and didn't think any cameras caught it. Well, 8 people were arrested, 8 prison guards, including the people that you see in this sick pictures over here. They were all arrested and, you know, going through the justice system process, which is BS. But news came out yesterday when all 8 of them were in court that 4 of the 8 took deals for 22 years in prison. The other 4, which you'll see them in the video, they're going to go to trial with this. It's crazy that this whole thing came down to this, where they're offering deals, plea deals, to people that offered this man none. Take a look at this and I'll come back with commentary. Once again, the justice system shows that things hit.
And new at noon, it was a busy day in Oneida County Court. 8 former Marcy Corrections officers appeared for their roles in the death of inmate Robert Brooks in December. 4 accepted plea deals, pleading guilty to various charges, and 4 rejected their plea deals and will be going to trial in 2 weeks. Here's a breakdown. Nicholas Anzalone pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. The plea deal will have him serve 22 years in prison and 5 years of post-release supervision. He also waived his right to an appeal. Had he not accepted the deal, he would have gone to trial for second-degree murder. He will remain out of jail until his sentencing on November 21st. Anthony Farina also pleaded guilty to first-degree manslaughter. He will serve 22 years in prison and 5 years of post-release supervision per the plea deal accepted. He also waived his right to an appeal. He would have also gone to trial for second-degree murder. He will remain out of jail until his sentencing on November 21st. After taking time away from the bench to speak to his attorney, David Walters also accepted his plea deal. He pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter and will serve 2 1/3 to 7 years in prison. He was initially facing 5 to 15 years for the same charge. He also does not have to waive his right to an appeal. His sentencing will also be on November 21st. And the 4th former CO to accept their plea deal today was Michael Mashaw. He pled guilty to second-degree manslaughter and will serve 3 to 9 years in prison. He was initially facing 5 to 15 years for the same charge. He also does not have to waive his right to an appeal. His sentencing will also be on November 21st. Now to those going to trial, David Kingsley rejected his plea deal and will take his case to a jury. He was offered a deal of pleading guilty to manslaughter, where he would serve 22 years in prison. Now Kingsley will go to trial for second-degree murder, which comes with a mandatory life sentence. The defense says they do not intend to call any witnesses. Jury selection will begin on October 6th. Former CO Michael Fisher also rejected his plea deal. He was offered a deal of pleading guilty to second-degree manslaughter, where he would have served 2 1/3 to 7 years in prison. And now Fisher will go to trial for first-degree manslaughter and faces 5 to 15 years in prison. His attorney called for Fisher's case to be tried separately from the other COs. The judge will hear arguments on that next week on October 1st. Matthew Gallagher was the 3rd CO to reject his plea deal. He was offered a deal of pleading guilty to gang assault, where he would serve 10 years in prison. He will now go to trial for second-degree murder, which comes with a mandatory life sentence. His attorney filed a number of motions, including one that would prevent the prosecution from, quote, narrating over the body camera footage to be shown at trial. The judge will hear arguments on these motions next week on October 1st. And the fourth CO to reject his plea deal was Nicholas Kiefer. He was offered a deal of pleading guilty to second-degree gang assault, where he would have served 9 years in prison. He will now go to trial for second-degree murder and faces a mandatory sentence of life in prison. His attorney said they do not intend to call an expert witness. Jury selection for that trial will start on October 6th.
Guys, you see it. 4 of them took deals. Other ones taking it to trial. Now, you've seen the deals some of these guys got. Some of them was 22 years. I think 2 of them was less than 10. The ones that was less than 10 was presumably the ones that was doing all the holding. They wasn't the ones doing the punching and kicking and stuff, and they was leading him around. Now, a lot of you guys seen that video when it came out last December, and a lot of you guys had, you know, different opinions on it. They brought up his past, how vile he was in the street, what he did to the woman, supposedly, that got him in prison in the first place. And it was upsetting. But what's more upsetting is this, to me. He's already in jail for what he did to the woman. So he's in a place where he's serving out his time and punishment according to said justice system. You got guards there that are entrusted to do the right thing or do their damn job and get him from one point to another. Now, if you guys remember that video, I had stated, you know, the obvious. The man was already winded and looked like he'd been in a scuffle before these officers put hands and feet on him. And he looked like he was already tired and winded. And for them to do all of that type of stuff, and then this man lose his life, and they got other medical personnel around there looking, they pushing people out the room and all this type of stuff, and then giving this guy the business, they all should get life. In fact, they all should be shown the flowers, in my opinion. I'm being just honest with you. You didn't offer this guy a deal, yet they get one. See, it tells you the justice system don't want to deal with any of this type of stuff. It's kind of like a parent that when you go to them and complain about a wrong that was done to you, instead of them writing said wrong, they just tell the person that did something to you, just go to your room. These guys are saying, oh, you know what? We're going to run and go to trial. We're going to run the trial. You can't narrate the video. Always some kind of black eye in the game that they throw out. Shut up, PE. Always a black eye in the game that they're going to throw out there to where, you know, certain things can't be said, certain things can't be done. Listen, the video is the video is the video. This man died from a beating that all of them were included in, whether they threw punches or not. Nobody tried to stop anybody. Nobody held up to the creed of a prison guard or whatever that is. They just beat this man down. One of the charges they got is what? Gang violence. For you to get that type of charge, it has to be seen, and according to the DA, you fall under the jurisdiction or under the category of that after the video was viewed. You killed this man. So in turn, your life should be taken as well. In return, all 8 of them. It makes no sense anytime a heinous, sick crime comes, they, 1, offer a deal to somebody, and 2, they don't make the justice equal. They don't. If I run out here and I kill somebody, other people, part of other people die with it. This guy had a family. Regardless of what he had a family. He had a time that he was supposed to be released that will never come. And it wasn't that he died in the madness of prison at the hands of another inmate, but it was at the same guards that were supposed to transfer him from one place to another. See, prison is a place where it's very chaotic. And guards and stuff that work there, a lot of times, they are part of said chaos. This right here is crazy as can be. You got 8 men with badges jumping on this man and doing all kind of crazy stuff, which resulted in his death. And some of them get less than 10 years in jail. And the other ones was given deals because they don't want to deal with shit. How is that justice? You know, even though he did some unjust stuff, the justice for him was being there and having to do his time, but he won't even finish his time because they took it from him. So what should be taken from them? I'm Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I don't think they should have been offered deals. They should have went to trial and been forced to face the nation. And you know what I'm saying? Everything they did that was sick been put on the display. A lot of people take deals a lot of times because they either, a lot of times it's not even the point that they're scared. They just don't want to deal with it and face family members of the victim's family and all this other stuff. And then the shame that they did in the act that was shameful. See you in the next video. Take care.